Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into 104.3 The Fans Coffee Break. We've got DMAC. We've got Rachel V. Hill. I voted DMAC. Have you?
I have not yet, but I got it right here. And I do the same thing every day. Now, I've had this ballot for, forever, right?
Yeah.
And I could vote, for the past month easily. But I like to go through my entire voting process. And that is what I do, Rachel, is I pretend to read the blue book. I don't vote for any judges. And but they run opposed. Yes, no, I don't know. Who knows?
Dan Jacobs would be so disappointed in both you and I because we don't vote for the judges, but
well, I mean, I just don't, but I did vote no on one judge one time. I did, unbelievably. I voted no on one judge one time. And that is because I was a juror on a court case. And I told them what I did, that I'm a talk radio guy. And they still allowed me to be on the jury. And then I didn't talk about the case specifically, but I talked about being on the jury.
Yeah.
And they brought me out of the room the next day and they kicked me off the jury because I talked about being on the jury. So I voted against that judge because I was just mad because what are you doing? I was fine. The guy was so guilty anyways, Rachel. It was unbelievable. I mean, he was literally caught on camera handing an agent drugs. I mean, they had, and then what was funny is they go, we'll let you know. We'll give you a call and let you know how the case went. And so they called me like 3 weeks later, go, yeah, he was guilty. And I go, yeah, no kidding. You got him on camera giving drugs to somebody. So
I can't believe they followed up. Wow.
They did follow. They told me they would follow up. They followed up. And I was like, wow, I can't believe you came to that conclusion. What gave it away? The drugs? And the money for the drugs that was caught on camera? I mean, they literally showed us this video. It's like, here's a bunch of drugs. Here's some money. Switcheroo. And we're at trial. And I don't think me being on the radio had anything to do with the verdict one way or the other.
I honestly would love to be an undercover cop at some point. Like, I think it would be so interesting. I used to love watching, like, even when they would send, like, non-guilty people into, like, prisons and whatever, and they would put cameras. But now that I think about it, there's no way that you could ever do that because you would have a camera crew following around. Anyways, we don't need to get into that.
But listen, the bottom line is I will read my blue book.
Yes.
Wink. And I will do what I always do. My entire voting process takes about 10 seconds. I drive down Arapahoe. Yep. I take a left on Lima. I drive through and I hand it to somebody. So the whole process, Rachel, takes me probably less than 5 seconds.
Yep.
And so if it's that easy for a moron like me to vote, then certainly there's no excuse for anybody else out there, no matter what your situation is. So I would encourage you to read the blue book.
Yep.
Wink. And, do your civic duty and vote. So I haven't done it yet, but I swear, I promise I will. I do the same thing every single time.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be good. I have voted already. I have to go drop it off in the bin today. That's going to be on my way.
No. You're the same as me then. You haven't voted yet.
Mine's sealed though. Mine has already been licked. It's done.
You're the same. What? It takes 3, boom. I mean, I'm the same as you. No. I've bubbled certain things. We're the same bubble.
Not finished. Not finished.
You're not superior than me on this. We're.
But one way or another, we both are still voting, which is all that matters.
Yes.
So everybody get out there, vote, let your voice be heard. That's what's very important. Just like we like our voices to be heard when it comes to sports. DMAC, let's talk about the Broncos. Nathaniel Hackett still thinks that this team can make a playoff push. How confident are you in it?
Well, not very. I mean, you got to go at least 6-3, and then you got to hope for a lot of luck. I mean, that you're talking about making the playoffs at 9-8. I mean,
one of the teams you
go,
really
Rachel. Here's what you got to do. You got to go 9-0, 8-1, 7-2, or 6-3. So you have 3 possibilities that seem like a slam dunk. Going undefeated. Well, let's talk about that. Likely or not likely? Not likely. All right. 7-1, or 8-1 rather. Still pretty unlikely. Okay, then we go to 7-2, and maybe that's somewhere in the realm of possibility. That brings you 7-2 brings you to 10-7. I mean, that brings you to like the Bills right now, who are so good, are 6-2. So you have to perform better than the Buffalo Bills, or that's a better record than the Ravens have. So you have to somehow in the second half of the season do better than a couple of the top teams in the league already.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, come on, man. I mean, I don't think we're like that. So are they a 6-3 team? Again, look who else is like 6-2 or 7-1. Not many teams.
Yeah.
So likely, Rachel, I think if they get lucky, Rachel, they're a 5-4 team the rest of the way. That puts them at 8-9. I'm not thinking about the playoffs. I'm not. I am really seriously thinking about how much better can they be week after week in terms of developmental year. You already said what you thought about the playoffs by trading Bradley Chubb. If you really thought you'd make the playoffs, you would have kept Bradley Chubb and you would have tagged and traded him later. You traded him. You got good value. Bradley had a very mediocre game against the Bears in his debut with the Dolphins. I don't think that means much, to be honest with you. But I'm not in that mindset at all. Are you? Are you thinking about the playoffs?
I'm not. I'm thinking about the next 3 weeks, and if there's 2 wins in there, I mean, the Titans, I think, will be hard. I do think that their defense is very, very good. And we're going to get into Russell Wilson later and the amount of sacks that he's taken this season. But I could see the Tennessee defense just really going after Russell Wilson because of how weak the offensive line is for the Broncos. Do I see them winning on Sunday? No, they also don't do good in 11 a.m. games. Okay.
I didn't even think of that. That's true.
It's just true. The Raiders, I think that they will win at home. I think that can be a win. Josh McDaniels and that team, they're, I think, even more of a struggle bus than the Broncos are. Hard to believe. And then the Panthers, I feel like it can be a flip of a coin because there's just so much can happen between that game in 3 weeks. So can they go 2-1? Will they go 1-2? I've got questions, but obviously.
Well, I mean, listen. They got to go 2-1 against these next 3 teams. If you want any faith
that they can absolutely do that. It's a flip of a coin every single Sunday with this Broncos team.
I agree. Although it is fascinating. I saw Adam Schefter put out some numbers today, Rachel, that essentially there are more close games. The margin of the difference in margin of winning is less than it's been since like 1970. So there's more close games than ever in the past 50 years. So part of that is I've got to guess that scoring is actually theoretically down all over the place. That would be one thing to make games close. The other part of it is just the defenses are just, I wouldn't say better, but they're adjusting to things that really hurt defenses in the past. And those are explosive plays. Nick Kosmider in The Athletic wrote today how Russell Wilson is significantly less than against zone defenses rather than man. So in a man defense, if you can get behind the guy, you just throw it over his head. And Russell Wilson has really exploited that over his career. Well, if you're playing in a deeper zone, it's harder for guys to get beyond you. Now, it does open a lot of other things up. I mean, there's a lot of open pockets, and that's where you have to be precise and zip the ball in. But your explosive plays go down. And look what Tennessee did, Rachel. They gave up 440-something passing yards, but they only allowed 20 points to Patrick Mahomes, including, a field goal in overtime. So there's something about the way the game is being played, and that defenses have – I don't even think the defenses have to be that good. I think it's a structural approach that just don't get beat over the top. Don't get beat by explosive plays and just hang in there. And if you're just hanging in there, well, that puts a lot more on your quarterback to be clutch. So where are those clutch moments? And by the way, this might bode well for the Broncos because the one thing we've seen with Russell Wilson throughout the years, if you stay in a game, he does have a clutch gene. He has been able to win a lot of close games. He's not scared. Like Malik Willis was just scared. Russell Wilson isn't scared to be in that situation. So, hey, glass half full.
I agree. I'm actually interested. I don't think there's been any news out of the Titans about who will start come Sunday. But a lot of people are chiming in the comments. Paul says a loss to the Titans. It's over. I would agree. Clint says next 3 are winnable. I agree, but again, it's just kind of a flip of a coin, right? Lawrence, you're right. Early East Coast games are never pretty. Why is that? Why can the Broncos just not get it together?
Well, they don't play many of them, first of all. They play like 4 a year. So it just doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah.
And their time clock. You know, I made fun of our pal Matt. I didn't make fun of him, but Matt Moore at a Nuggets media thing the other day was like, it takes my kids 2 weeks to adjust to the daylight savings thing. And I was like, really? 2 weeks with your kids? Come on, man. Stop crying about it. I have found myself the past 3 days going to bed like at 7:45. You know, like it feels weird. And I'm like, maybe there just is a little something to this. I was talking to a couple of media muggles there that are back from England, and Troy Rank, for example, was like, it's taking me several days to get used to this time thing. So, okay, I'll roll with the evidence. If people say that it takes them weird time to adjust, then all right. So maybe that's just it, Rachel. Maybe it's just simply your body clock, your routine, that sort of thing. And frankly, look what the Broncos schedule has been. It's been all over the place. I mean, it has been crazy from Sunday night games, Thursday night games, game time in England. And now you're kind of messing with it again with this 11 a.m. start. But it's not like this team, Rachel, is used to starting a game at any time because it's been so kind of crazy all over the place. Yeah, but it's not good. The 11 a.m. start's not good for the Broncos. And we'll see how it all adds up on Sunday. I'm not overly optimistic, but I think, Rachel, every game for the Broncos, they'll have a chance. I think every game for the rest of the year could come down to more or less the fourth quarter, a one-score game. It has so far, so why would we think it's going to be any different?
Because I think the defenses for some of these teams are going to get a little better than what we saw out of the Colts, the Raiders. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, but we've been in these one-score. We've been in these one-score games with the second worst scoring offense in the league.
Yes, but I just think that the defenses are going to see.
Do you think we're about to get blown out?
I don't think we're going to get blown out, but I think that it's going to be like 27-13 or 7.
Well,
okay, actually, let's ask people in the comments. What do you anticipate the scoreline for Sunday to be? What do you anticipate it to be?
I got it something like 17-13 Titans, something like that.
That's what I have. But
is that right?
I guess I'm kind of going against what I just said because I think the Titans do have a pretty solid defense. So I don't know. It's just such a flip of a coin, and the Broncos offense is just so boring that you're hoping that it can kind of pick up. And you know what's one good thing though, DMAC, is the Cowboys, they were looking at Jerry Jeudy before the trade deadline. They wanted a little piece of Jerry Jeudy, but it seems like he's wide receiver number 1. Cortland Sutton's kind of just disappeared. So maybe he's the saving grace that he didn't go to the Cowboys.
Jerry, for sure. They could not trade Jeudy. They could not trade Hamler. They're their 2 most explosive offensive weapons. They would be fools. And the number 3 offensive weapon, obviously, is Greg Dulcich. Cortland Sutton is at, 4 at best. And if you're talking about being accountable, like Nathaniel Hackett said, Rachel, then you may see less time on the field for Cortland Sutton. And you should, because you may need to be more in just 2 wide receiver sets. So who says Cortland Sutton always has to be out on the field for that? Now, you got to get KJ Hamler. You just got to get him on the field more. You got to get him the ball more. And Jeudy is your number 1 guy. He is. He's proved what we always thought he could be, and now he has done it in consecutive games.
Whoa. He's not there yet. In my personal opinion, DMAC, he's not there yet because sometimes I think he gets a little too ahead of himself when he has to catch those big, like, last-second plays. I think he's moving in the right direction, but I don't think he's 100% there yet.
Well, the problem is there's just nobody else that's overtaking him there. I mean, it's not like Cortland. I mean, it's 13 targets, 4 catches in the last 2 games for Cortland Sutton. There's no separation with Sutton. We're seeing that the teams are playing more zone defense. So that actually, the more zone defense against Russell Wilson actually should work in Cortland Sutton's favor. But that means Russ has to kind of see it and fit the ball in. That means you don't have to create the separation like you do in one-on-one.
Yeah.
If more teams play zone defense, Rachel, actually it should work to the benefit of Greg Dulcich and Cortland Sutton. But they do that on purpose because it doesn't fit Russell Wilson. So it works for one guy and it's not working for the other guy. And that's essentially why I think there is this, disconnect between Sutton and Wilson. And it's not that they don't work together. They've probably worked together more than anybody. It's just both their games are just kind of suited for another type of guy. And I don't think Cortland Sutton, Rachel, was ever really a pure number one receiver ever. I know he gets paid like that, but he kind of got to that position by default. You had Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. You had other really good guys. And then you did draft Jerry Jeudy in the first round, Rachel. I mean, you did draft him. And here he is in his 3rd year. You did draft him to be the number one guy. And he's there, I think. And if he's not completely there, he's certainly getting there. And KJ Hamler has proved to be pretty good too. So I don't know where Cortland Sutton fits in. I think it's a bit of a conundrum.
Which is funny because at the beginning of the season, it felt like we were all Cortland Sutton number 1, Jerry Jeudy possibly 2, maybe even 3. Like it was kind of all over the place. This was obviously after Tim Patrick tore his ACL. But I do want to get to the people in the comments because they are answering about what they think the prediction is going to be for Sunday. We got 2013, Broncos 23-17, 17-15 Titans. Interesting. 17-16 either way. My 10-7 prediction is toast. 9-6. It's a pour more coffee bowl. Okay. 2017. It's interesting. 17-9. Like again, but there's no high scoring game. No one has confidence that this Broncos offense or even the Titans offense can get something rolling and we can see a 28-34 game.
Well, our viewers, listeners here to the good old coffee break aren't dummies there, Rachel. I mean, when you see the stunning number to me that, again, was provided by a listener was Justin Fields' last 3 games with the Bears. All the points accumulated by the Bears, Justin Fields. 94 points. Russell Wilson has accumulated 91 points in all of his games. So that he's played, and he, missed 1 game, obviously, because Brett Rippon plays, so you take that one out. So with the games that Russell Wilson has played versus, Justin Fields, 3 games, Fields has actually outscored him in 3 games. Listen, Rachel, we haven't seen them. What was the Raiders? The 23 points. I mean, that's the most they've had all year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Rachel, that is stunning. That it's that bad. I don't know what to say on that. So I don't know how you guarantee or even would bet on the road against the Titans defense that just really stymied the offense scoring wise of the Chiefs. How exactly do you think they're going to put up 23 points? I mean, how does it happen? And by the way, here's how it might have to happen. Justin Simmons said it yesterday. He said, we've got to do better with turnovers and scoring. And he's right. Like, you got to get a pick 6. You got to get a scoop and score. You got to get a turnover where if you don't get in the end zone, you take it right to the brink. And the Broncos really haven't done that either. Not really. They haven't played poorly. Their defense is by far their best part. But if you really want to get some higher numbers in terms of scoring, sadly, the defense has to provide it.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And you even said too, really, the reason the Broncos probably won the game against or in London against the Jags is because of Justin Simmons and his interception. So if they would have made points off of that, holy smokes. We did get one that says, what do you know? D-Mac talking about, he said Jason, but I'm assuming he means Justin Fields on coffee break. Shocker. I want to give credit where credit is due. No one was talking about Justin Fields, D-Mac, and now that's all I'm hearing on all of the other local radio stations is Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. So I need to give credit where credit is due because I find it hilarious.
Well, Rachel, history can repeat itself. So everybody right now, everybody has a unanimous opinion right now that the Broncos made a mistake drafting Bradley Chubb over Josh Allen. Everybody thinks that.
Yeah.
So you go forward 3 years, and all of a sudden the opinion that you should have taken a quarterback over a defensive player is what? Ludicrous? Like there's no sense of history. There's no precedent whatsoever. I'm like just, skit-scatting and b-balling my way all over the place here. No, Rachel, nothing has changed since 2018. And when you were in 2021 under incredibly similar circumstances, you did the same mistake, okay? And it's really not about Fields or Mac Jones or Patrick Surtain. Like, Rachel, you could make an argument that not only was Surtain a mistake, you should have taken Rashawn Slater, who's a right tackle, or Micah Parsons, who's maybe one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. That's that argument.
What could have been.
Those are all other position players, and those are fair arguments to have. But, Rachel, there is no argument. If you don't have a quarterback and there are qualified quarterbacks to be had, and you're in a position to draft one of those quarterbacks, you should do it. It doesn't set your franchise back. It only gives you the chance of success. And everybody, so it's got nothing to do with Surtain or Fields. Rachel, I swear to God, those are the names we're attaching to it because it's easy to attach those names. I could easily be saying Mac Jones in this case too, who won on Sunday and forced a coach to be fired in the NFL. It just so happens people were so down on Justin Fields because they wanted to prove, just like they wanted to prove Chubb was better than Allen. So people, Rachel, you should have seen it. People were crapping all over Josh Allen in his first year and a half in Buffalo. See, we got the better deal. Bradley Chubb this, Bradley Chubb that, 12 sacks, Pro Bowl. Josh Allen stinks. And I'm like, hey, slow down. It takes a little time for this to develop. Well, what's the difference with Justin Fields or Mac Jones? And then they say, no, there's no good quarterbacks out of Ohio State. Well, where are there good quarterbacks out of, Rachel? And it would set us back. We'll do it next. What next time? And then you compare it to the value you gave up for Russell Wilson. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. Noah Fant, a former first-round pick. Drew Lock, a former starting quarterback. And Shelby Harris, who's a rock-solid defensive player and is a starter for them. And you realize, oh, wait, you can't afford to have a developmental year, Rachel, not at that value. You would only do that deal, Rachel, if your plan was to win right now. So for everybody who says, you're too harsh on Russell Wilson and you're too personal and who cares about Cabo and all that, okay, fine. But where's the production on the field? And if there's not production on the field, we're going to be really asking every single piece of minutia why it's not happening. So the Broncos have had time to reset, Rachel. They're 3-5. This has turned into a developmental year, and we have to stare down the barrel of Seattle going to the playoffs and having our pick. Meanwhile, the Bears, yes, their defense is a wreck. They've undergone change too. But in the last 3 games, their quarterback doing things in a different style, but who cares? It's about points, not how you get the points, has been unbelievably productive. So, okay, if I'm not gloating here about Justin Fields, but I'm more frustrated that in consecutive years, quarterback years, the Broncos, Rachel, made the same exact mistake. How does that not frustrate people? How does that not bother people? Because, Rachel, guess what? We seriously may be in this situation a couple years from now. And what are you going to do then?
You're not wrong. And I'm just playing devil's advocate, okay? I see where you want immediate success, right? You don't want to have to, this player's going to have to transition. They're going to have to grow a little bit. People don't want that. So I can see why people were like, Bradley Chubb's the winner here. And now you look back and you're like, crap, right? Like, I completely understand that wanting immediate success. Maybe is it the right thing? Probably not, because you look all around the NFL and then you look at the Broncos right now and things are definitely not even. But I just think people want immediate success and not having to watch their quarterback transition into the NFL.
Well, I don't blame those people. Tom
Yeah.
Brady transitioned to the Buccaneers, the Bucks. Nobody thought anything of them. They win the Super Bowl. Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford transfers to the Rams. They stink now, but they already won the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. To
Yep.
expect that you're going to have, big success with a veteran quarterback is not crazy. Peyton Manning in his first year with the Broncos, yeah, they started slow, but then they won 10 games in a row before a bitter loss to the Ravens on a really cold day. So there was success, Rachel. So Manning had success. Brady had success. Stafford had success. And all this really proves is that Russell Wilson isn't in their class. He's not in their same category, apparently, unless something can really remarkably turn around. And let's hope that's the case. Let's hope the Broncos go on a wild 7-2 run, Rachel, okay? Say they lose in Kansas City, they lose in Baltimore, and they win the rest of their games.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's go. We would be 10-7, and we'd be in the playoffs. And then you could say, okay, that made sense. We're there. We're in the playoffs with Russell Wilson. That's all we could expect. That's exactly what Peyton Manning did in his first year. And now we can develop off making the playoffs to winning a Super Bowl. We didn't, Rachel, we didn't sit here and say, I hope we can have the same exact record as last year. I hope we can match Fangio at 7-10. Nobody thought that at the beginning of the year.
One of the commenters, Jay, just said, once Peyton drafts the right pieces on the O-line, Russ will have his great season. Trust. Is it all about the O-line?
It's partly about that.
The question is it all about the O-line?
No, it's not all about the O-line, but it's a significant part. You got a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb, which is great that you got that. What stinks, Rachel, is the circumstances that made you have to go and get that. You're going to draft a right tackle. You hope that Garrett Bowles is healthy, and that'll be a big piece of the puzzle. At least you have a first-round pick to do it. But I don't know. That's going to be a rookie right tackle, Rachel. I mean, again, things sort of take time to develop. I mean, that is a no-brainer. So the viewer there isn't wrong. It's just that I just didn't expect us to sit here, Rachel, and talk about developing again. We've been developing things, not in the 2016 season. They were still trying to use the defense, but since 2017 to this season, Rachel, it's all been about developing. Develop this, develop that. Find a quarter, develop. Great. Oh, Patrick Surtain is incredible. And Justin Simmons' contract. And we're developed already. We've been developed. We're like film and Polaroid. It's developed. You go pick it up. Back in the day, that's how they used to do pictures. I'm getting old. You sent it in, they developed them.
We have a Polaroid camera. Don't worry. Okay. Are we not giving, how should I phrase this? Because I understand your NFL players, regardless if you're first string, second string, or third string. But this Broncos team is pretty banged up. So are we not giving them enough slack? I think that's kind of the way I'm looking.
Oh, my God. Nobody's been fired. There have been no changes made. They're the most highly criticized team.
But I'm talking players. I'm not talking about game management. I'm not talking about play calling. I'm talking about the players. Are we not giving them enough slack that we've got a lot of second or third string guys in?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want to... I'm
just trying to find positives here, D-Mac.
Yeah, right? I don't know. You want to prop up Josie Jewell. He's awesome. It's fantastic watching Dalton Reisner play guard. I don't know. I don't know what to say here. Listen, it's a bottom line business. And if you can't win, change happens. And there's practically no patience, which is bad, by the way. It is bad. And in other sports, there's all sorts of patience. You use patience in all these other sports. But you don't in football because, as Adam Schefter pointed out, and we've seen, Rachel, so many of these games are so close. They really are. So you have a salary cap. You have a draft. You have a situation of parity that exists, unlike any of these other sports. In baseball, there is no salary cap. In the NHL, I don't know if Oscar Olsen is going to develop or not because they're drafting guys in their 18, 19 years old. I mean, who knows? Basketball is kind of the same. In basketball, you can kind of identify 3 superstars, and you got a shot with those guys if you can get them.
Yeah.
It's in football where things are really relatively even, Steven. And by far, Rachel, by a mile, it's the quickest sport to turn a team around. Why do you think only the Broncos and the Jets are the only 2 teams in the NFL to not make the playoffs for the past 6 years? Because you can turn things around relatively quickly. And guess what? We're going to be sitting there staring at that stat by ourselves if the Jets keep doing what they're doing. And the Jets, Rachel, have done a makeover with first-round quarterbacks twice. And they're on the verge of making the playoffs now.
Who's the most surprising team in the NFL right now? Is it the Seahawks? Is it the Jets? People are talking about the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins are in that conversation. Who do you think?
I think it's the Seahawks. I don't think anybody would have assumed Geno Smith, who couldn't play dead in a Western, would have this unbelievable career revival. And Pete Carroll did speak about it yesterday, that he just kind of he goes along with what they're trying to do, and that he really did learn something. Nobody expected the Seahawks to be successful. I would say the Jets are number 2 behind that. I didn't really believe in them. I didn't really think they were that good. But they did beat the Broncos on the road, and they did beat the Bills at home, and they're right there. So I'm not surprised about the Dolphins were actually kind of good already. What's cool about the Dolphins is they're doing it with Mike McDaniel, who I can see Smoky Hill High School right now. That's where he went to high school. I can literally see it. So Mike McDaniel walked the halls within my view and then took it from there and is successful with the Dolphins. I think that's pretty cool. Good for Mike McDaniel.
Should Tua be in the MVP conversation?
Who's that? Sorry.
Tua?
He's the most efficient quarterback in the NFL right now. Sure. I mean, if they're a playoff team and he leads the league in quarterback rating and efficiency, sure, he should be in the conversation. I still think he would have a way to go to pass Josh Allen. But frankly, Josh Allen's had a couple of stumbles in back-to-back weeks. One game they won, one game they lost. So we're talking about the MVP, and you got to throw Jalen Hurts into that conversation as well. If the Eagles go undefeated, Rachel, I mean, you'd have to look at them as that would be an undefeated season by the Eagles would be the most stunning thing of all time, considering what they did. And Rachel, the Eagles started off the same as the Broncos, 2-5. They finished at 9-8. They're now 8-0. Rachel, we should want to be the Eagles.
True. The Broncos should want to be the Eagles. Very, very good point. It can happen. Miracles can happen that you
but
can.
But you know what? You know what the Eagles did? Nick Sirianni gave over play calling to somebody else.
Yeah.
He stepped back so he could be the head coach. He gave that up, and it worked. And Hackett's got to change something. You know, it's just not working. You got to change something. Thank God they won in England, Rachel. I mean, thank God we're having these conversations, and they just won their last game. At 2-6,
they're on a one-game win streak.
Well, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it.
No, that's true. Okay, we do want to ask the people. It is Tuesday, which means we usually play trivia. So let me know in the comments if you would like to play trivia today. Otherwise, I want to talk about this Denver Nuggets team because while it was a really close game last night in San Antonio, our very own Jake Shapiro was there as he's heading back to Denver now. What was interesting to me is usually where they struggle, I feel like third quarter, that was a main topic last year, especially. They actually pulled ahead in the third quarter and then they fell, but they ended up winning the game. So are the Nuggets getting better and should we be giving them more credit?
Oh my gosh, Rachel, they're 7-3. They are trending right where I hope they would be, which would be a 55-win season, third or better in the West, and at least in the Western Conference Final. And then you go from there. I mean, at that point, kind of anything can happen. Yeah. But boy, are they set up well because they're still trying to figure themselves out. Rachel, the depth they have for Michael Porter Jr. to score 24 points, 5 of 10 from 3. The dude's shooting like 50% from 3, okay? He's basically the best three-point shooter in the league. Michael Malone barely played him in the fourth quarter because they got better defense out of Bruce Brown and KCP. rather than Michael Porter Jr. in this particular circumstance. And Michael Porter Jr. had no problems with it whatsoever. It's what needed to be done at the time. But they're not even in this game if Michael Porter Jr. is not shooting great at the beginning of the game. So you're finding total team wins. Nikola Jokic won their defensive player of the game. They got that big chain with DPOG on it. Nikola won that. He is absolutely thriving in a sort of a different way than in his MVP seasons. And there's no way he's going to win the MVP this year because he just won't have the numbers. But you may have the best Nuggets team of all time. And of course, you can't have that without Nikola Jokic. So, no, I'm thrilled, Rachel. They played kind of crappy last night, in all honesty.
They trailed most of the game.
They turned it on when they needed to. They played better defense later in the game. It was remarkable. So I was just overjoyed with that win. You gotta have scrappy wins every now and then, and that was a pretty scrappy win. And they're 7-3. And by the way, one of those losses was to Utah. They actually looked pretty good. Everybody thought they were going to be crap. They were pretty good. Another one was to, I think, Portland. I believe that was in Portland. They're all right. And the Lakers. That was a bad loss. That was losing to the Lakers. And that was like the one game the Lakers actually shot well at.
And I think it was mainly just overlooking.
And they're undefeated at
5 days
home.
prior.
Yeah, and they're undefeated at home as well. Rachel, I'm thrilled with this Nuggets team. I am pumped. Peanut butter and jelly with Jokic and Murray.
Okay, speaking of peanut butter and jelly with Jokic and Murray, let's watch a clip because they got asked. Jamal Murray got asked about being peanut butter and jelly. So let's go ahead and play the clip. Roll it. Okay, Jamal Murray says he's cool with PB&J as a nickname as long as he's jelly. He likes to be sweet. Says Jokic has to be peanut butter because he's thick. Jokic says, that's good. I go with everything, Murray. I'm the smear on top. I love how Jokic is just like, yeah, whatever. I'll do anything. And then Murray has to be the smear on top, D-Mac. I love the atmosphere with these two. Or the chemistry. I think it's so much fun.
I totally agree. They, like Michael Malone pointed out last night, they not only do they play well together, which they do, their two-man game is just incredible, but they know each other because they spent so much time together.
Sure.
It's rare chemistry. It's awesome to watch. And I don't know if you would prefer to be peanut butter and jelly in that particular example, but
would you rather be jelly or peanut butter?
What's that?
D-Mac, if we had to be peanut butter and jelly, which one are you? You're gonna be the jelly. You add a little bit of flavor. You're gonna be the flavor here.
I think I'm probably the jelly because I'm a mess. So the peanut butter kind of holds everything together. I mean, it's kind of the most consistent, bonding, solid, predictable in a good way part of the sandwich. The jelly is just smattered all over the place. It looks like what am I doing? I mean, yeah, I'm a mess. I'm jelly.
I'll take it. I'll be the peanut butter. You can be the jelly. All right. People do want to play trivia though. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to play some trivia. I actually wanted to play trivia this morning. So I decided we use Kahoot. If you've never played trivia with us, I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to pick a random one. I figured we would do Broncos. People really do love the Broncos. Hold on one second, everybody. There we go. I have not looked at any of these. I swear, everybody. So we were just going to pick the first one. It apparently is 20 questions, D-Mac. So we might go a little on the show today.
Okay.
So let's do it.
All right. So what number do I throw in here?
Hold on. Share this tab. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm pulling out my phone too, everybody. We'll give everybody a little bit.
Okay. All right. I see it.
Kahoot.it. Oh, I hate the music though. We gotta pause the music. Let's see. 391-2136.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Should I change my avatar from the
oh yeah, I forgot that
blue-headed pirate? What animal are you feeling today, Rach?
I think I'm just gonna go with the dog. I think it's funny they've added this. Keep them coming, everybody. Join in. I know a lot of you in the comments it said trivia, so please keep joining in. Be DMAC.
All right, I'm a pumpkin head.
Keep coming. Yeah, I've never actually been on the back end of this to like see how it's played, so this will be interesting for me. I'm kind of here for it. Keep it coming, everybody. Again, 391-2136. I'm glad so many people wanted to play trivia, DMAC.
Come on, people, let's go.
Keep joining in.
How many more do we need here?
We'll go for like 3 or 4. We'll give it another minute because I know we are coming to the end of the show. And like we said,
how about our guy Jake Shapiro on the road covering the Spurs game?
I know. I was so happy for him. We
are dedicated.
I know. I love it. He's on a plane right now. Okay, we're just gonna start. You can still feel free to join in, everybody. Let's do this. I'm curious to see how this goes. Denver Broncos. 3, 2, 1. What is Demarius? Oh, okay.
Oh, easy. Come on now. That's not hard.
Nope, that was easy. Obviously, rest in peace to Demarius. Yeah. Go. I'm curious to see like what type of questions are going to be on this.
Well, I mean, that one, they didn't start off very hard.
No, not at all.
But we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Okay. Tommy apparently is super fast. What is Von Miller? Okay.
Well, that's a trick question, but we'll say that he's with the Broncos, right?
We'll go with the Broncos legend of Von Miller.
Do you know what number he is with the Bills, Rachel? It's a quirky one.
It's the same number he had at A&M, isn't it?
There you go. Do you know what it is?
I'm trying to think of his A&M number. Is it in the 30s?
40.
40. Okay, 58.
40. Yeah, you gotta be quick here.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, question number 3. When is Demarius Thomas's birthday?
Oh dear.
Oh dear, is right.
I'll take a guess here because that's a
I actually do know this one.
I thought it was Christmas.
I think it is Christmas.
Yeah, I thought that was the deal here. Yay, I was right.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Maybe I should have looked to see when this was created, but again, we were just going, what is Peyton
Manning's?
Manning's?
What is Peyton Manning's number?
Man, these are some easy questions here, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy cow. we're caught up in numbers.
Yeah, we are.
God, can you imagine if you got that one wrong?
Right. Okay, let's see. How many Super Bowls have the Broncos been to?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I think I got it wrong. I think I just got it wrong.
Oh, I got it wrong too.
I did. It's 8. I guessed 7. That was dumb. I was wrong as soon as I did it.
That sucks. That sucks. How many Super Bowls have the Broncos won?
Easier question.
Much.
Same championships that the Avalanche have won.
True.
Who gets number 4?
Okay, 3. What year did this logo come out?
Oh, wow. I got to guess. That was the big change, I think, with the uniform and the blue and the.
Do you think we're gonna get new logos next year?
That's a good question. Yeah, 97. That's a really good question. I don't know if we move off of that logo, but we get new uniforms one way or the other. What team is this? Oh, come on now.
God. Okay.
Lord.
Apparently, Lord.
Seriously.
I'm trying not to cheat, but this is too easy.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is too easy.
Logo one was tricky. That wasn't an easy question, but so we're getting away from the Broncos here. We've run out of Broncos questions.
Apparently. So, okay. What team?
What? Oh my God! Really, Rachel? What are we doing here? What is
I don't
happening
know. I
here?
was about to end it though, because I thought this would be like something. This had the most viewers, so I was like, okay.
So we hung in there for what, like 6 Broncos questions? Most of them about numbers.
Okay, so what we learned here is Rachel just needs to stick with making trivia.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rachel. It's hard to work for you, but this is ridiculous to a certain degree. Who is Akeem Talib? What the hell is that? Well, who is Akeem Talib? Do any of us know who the real Akeem Talib really is?
Oh my
Oh, I didn't see all of the above. I got that wrong. Oh my. I passed over all the. Okay, sorry. So I got that wrong. So I should shut
god.
up.
Oh my gosh. At our last Super Bowl, who did we beat?
Okay. Huh? All right, we're on the team. That's cool. Glad to be on the team. Can you name the other 2 teams the Broncos beat, Rachel?
Gosh, I feel like I should know this. This was back when I was literally 1 year old.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some homework to do. Got some homework to do there, Rach. True or false? It was the Packers and the Falcons. True or false?
They did beat the Packers, right?
Yes, they did. Our logo is. What is this?
Who is the Denver Broncos mascot?
All right, that's the mascot. But do you know the name of the horse on top of the building?
I do not.
Yeah, that's not Miles. It's oh gosh. You know what? I'm forgetting it, but it's got a name. I want to say it's Bill.
All right.
In the comments.
This is a little ridiculous. Everyone, it's already 11:15. We're gonna end this trivia because this.
We are, but it's so fascinating.
What are the Denver Broncos colors? I was expecting a little more. I'll continue making trivia, everyone. Don't you fret.
Yeah, I actually got that one wrong. How did I get that wrong?
You just
navy blue. Oh, okay.
Navy blue.
I think I'm just losing interest.
Yeah, these were way too easy. I was expecting a little bit more. So
Wait, did you just win?
I'm taking the.
All right, you won.
I am disappointed. People in the comments are saying Bucky Bronco though. Is that the true name?
Bucky, that's right. I was gonna say Billy, but I knew that was wrong. Bucky.
That why we have the
Miles is the mascot. Bucky is the one on top of the stadium.
Is that why we have the horse at the airport though? Is because I know they're not directly correlated?
We have the horse at the airport because we're trying to scare away the demons.
All right. On that note, everybody, it's a Tuesday. Sorry, trivia sucked. I'll continue making trivia. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Tuesday. Remember, go vote. Let your voice be heard. DMAC and I were both going to be submitting our ballots into the little box bin thing. So go vote. Have a wonderful.
All right, let me figure out Proposition FFF.
Yeah, seriously. One last
ridiculous.
thing, everybody. Friday, come hang out with us. We're going to have a special edition of Coffee Break, which involves a lot of you and any questions that you have. So come up with some good questions that you would have for myself, DMAC, James, Cecil, and pay attention because Friday is going to be a fun show. Again, have a wonderful Tuesday. Get out there, vote, and we'll see everybody tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Bye, everyone.